Hello and welcome to episode 278 of our SAP on Azure video podcast. Today is February 4th, and together with Goran, we are here to talk about anything related to SAP and Microsoft. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So when
Hi.
customers move their SAP systems to Azure, Microsoft is working closely with customers and their partners on the migration. We do not have our own team that actually does the migration, but as we have highlighted several times on the show before, we have dedicated teams that ensure an SAP on Azure mission critical support. In the past, we had colleagues like Hemanth Damecharla or Philiipp Leitenbauer from our engineering team on the show, who work very closely with the SAP engineering teams to make sure that SAP systems run best on Azure. But we also have other colleagues like Etienne Dittrich from Shibli Subhanis team, or our own Goran, who support customers closely during their preparations and the actual go live. Today, we want to talk to Anuradha Karnam, who is a cloud solution architect working on support for mission critical, who will tell us a little more about what actually support for mission critical is and how she and the team are helping customers. Welcome, Anuradha. So it's really great to have you here to give us some insights there. But before we dive into the topic, maybe we can start with a quick introduction on your side.
Sure, Holger. Hello, Goran.
Hey.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Hello, everyone. This is Anuradha Karnam. I'm a seasoned technology executive and principal cloud solution architect at Microsoft. So with nearly 2 decades of experience, I'm delivering Azure for SAP AI-driven solutions at global scale. I am leading worldwide Center of Excellency operations for mission critical. So I have on the scale, I have all the top tier customers that we are serving on a large scale initiatives and support end to end. We're consistently delivering measurable outcomes. We have successful customer stories that impact not only from the customer perspective on the industry wide. So we have measurable outcomes that we have published a couple of customer success stories alongside the technical background. I have peer-reviewed couple of publications and as well as contributed blogs for Microsoft Tech community. You can refer my LinkedIn with all the blogs that are highlighted for your reference. I've been also honored with multiple Microsoft top tier industry awards, and I hold MBA and MCA information technology. Currently, as a worldwide lead, I'm serving a Center of Excellency. I focus mainly on the customer success through collaborative results and the driven leadership approach.
This is really great, Anuradha. And I actually checked, obviously, your LinkedIn profile and all the long history, the long period, how you have been working at Microsoft before and stuff like that. So really, really impressive. So it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
Good. So as mentioned, we had talked about mission critical before, also on SAP. So maybe let's take a look from your perspective. I mean, you as a CSA, as a cloud solution architect, you are working closely with customers, supporting them also after or during the implementation, after the implementation. So maybe you can, kick us off and share a little more what mission critical exactly is and how this works for customers.
Sure. Let me quickly share the screen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think we can see your screen. Yeah, perfect.
Sounds good. So, today I'm going to share intro and insights into SAP and Azure native, what it really means and why it matters. We will walk through best practices for migrating SAP workloads on Azure. And highlight the proven approaches for smooth and secure transition. I'll also cover everything that expands you to know about SfMC, how you can opt for support for mission critical, environment from Microsoft, which can improve Azure for scalability on high performance, so you can drive resiliency and efficiency in a long-term growth. So this slide is more into how you can discover your SAP solution paths on Azure. When we talk about SAP and Azure, we are referring to a long-term established deployments model, right? Where customers run SAP managed or with partners. This remains the dominant approach for large enterprise customers today. They are opting a vendor support to do a migration from on-prem to a cloud environment. So while SAP strategy is shifting customers away from NetWeaver-based products towards to S/4HANA by the end of year 2030, so Microsoft is fully supports customers who choose to stay native on Azure, giving them continued control over architecture. So the customers can have their own operations in a secure manner, and they can integrate their operations in a more reliable approach. Importantly, there are no one step, that can do a migration from Azure native to RISE. So most customers follow a hybrid landscape model, right, where some SAP systems remains natively managed on Azure. So while others are consumed through SAP RISE and services. So with that being said, you have a key insights over here to go through. Our unified team will guide you through a smooth migration, supported by a clear and actionable recommendations, so that you need to have a complete end-to-end support. We
Which I,
have a list. Yep.
just very, very briefly, because I think also when we look at Microsoft, I mean, Microsoft, as we shared many times before, is also a huge SAP customer. And we are also a RISE customer, but exactly like what you're just saying, we still also have a lot of systems running on Azure native. So it's really this hybrid landscape that you were just mentioning.
Yes. So when we do a migration, we have a couple of best practices that everyone should follow, right? So in this section, we'll walk through proven best practices, how you can migrate SAP workloads to Azure based on a real-time enterprise deployment. So we will focus on starting with the right assessment, how you can do a landing zone assignment, and how you can design the aligning your architecture, SAP and Azure references with the best practices. So we'll also highlight the importance of phased migrations, strong governance, and operational readiness. So in order to make sure you have a right foundation with a long-term scalability and innovation. So we have different approaches here to proceed in the migration framework, which our unified team will guide you on the process. But here I'm going ahead with a couple of highlighted points, like how you can discover and how you can prepare, migrate, how you can run the entire ops model, and how you can innovate the things later on. So here, when we go each and every pillar that talks about the discover, the first step is to discover your current SAP estate, right? Like each customer, they have to understand their core landscape dependencies. And from there, they have to clearly define the technology, that outcomes, like finally they have to identify with the well-defined KPIs to ensure they have a right alignment, and they have accountability, and they have a measurable success throughout the journey. And then once they have the plan, they have to prepare for the next steps to assess and plan, like, to align the future station and vision. For the long-term business goals, what is their right size of SAP environment that they have? Did they are meeting the actual workloads while leveraging a proven reference architecture? Or they have to establish the clear plan for business continuity and migration cutover, like did they have a proper availability and DR in a phase in the internal architect plan on the readiness to ensure smooth and resilient transition. Once they have everything in place, they have to plan for a migrate. In the migration phase, we execute the planned transition by moving SAP workloads to Azure in a controlled and phased manner. So this includes the performing the comprehensive testing and ensuring business continuity throughout the process. So our unified team will focus on minimizing the downtime, and they reduce the risks and they stabilize the operations for all the customers who are willing to fully prepare and optimize their environment. During the execution phase, which is called run, AI ops, in the optimize phase, we enhance SAP landscape using cloud operations with the best practices. So we make sure Azure Security Center with the Sentinel protection is in place, while the telemetry delivers the actionable insights through the AMS and so on, so forth. So you don't need to worry about or using multiple third-party tools in order to monitor SAP cluster and as well as the operating systems, where you can utilize our tools called AMS, the overall monitoring tool. So we have a seamless third-party integrations that it can integrate and capture all the telemetry. You can even have an option of cost management that you can ensure you don't have to pay so many licenses, and you remain secure, scalable, and cost-effective over time. During the innovative,
Maybe just a quick question on the migration. In your experience, does the customer or partners use this infrastructure as a code, for example, in order to standardize, speed up deployment of infrastructure to Azure, maybe even SAP as well?
Yeah, they definitely use. It depends on the partner and the vendor, how they're performing, and their internal architecture, as a code. Some customers follow different approaches, like some based on their size and the landscape. We have a couple of migration options that customer can opt. I have the upcoming slides highlighted, how they can plan based on their architecture.
Okay.
In the innovate phase, once the migration is completed, we integrate the entire IT environment with a secure, seamless manner. They can have a single sign-on with the data-driven insights. So the integration hub services a single centralized location where they can opt for a mission-critical, services on top of unified for the continuous approach. So I'll explain you what is mission critical is about in upcoming slides. This is, as I said, we have a different methodologies that we can follow during the migration, right? So they can opt for a homogeneous migration or a heterogeneous migration. We have two primary SAP migration methodologies that customers can consider based on the complexity and the downtime requirements that they have. So during the homogeneous migrations, they're typically lower risk and lower downtime. Using these approaches, like they can have the backup and restore, the database log shipping or a HANA system replication when the OS and database versions remain the same. In a context, in another world, heterogeneous migrations involve higher complexity and downtime. They often tools like software provision manager, database migration option. So it's a one-step migration to SAP HANA. They can choose the right approach, depends on the customer landscape and as well as the target architecture that they wanted to go, and the business tolerance for downtime, that how much they can opt for. So we have a one-step migration, as I said, right? So that illustrate SAP HANA and Azure using a database migration through DMO option with a system move. So during this approach, SAP system is expected and migrated directly to Azure, where it is imported and converted to SAP HANA in a single transition. They can combine the system move with the database conversion into one step. customers can simplify the migration process by using this, and they can reduce the overall duration, and as well as they can accelerate the journey to moderate, and as well as the cloud-based SAP HANA platform on Azure. We have some specific recommendations where we usually recommend our customers to follow. They can go through the process along with the network paths that we have to ensure that they have a smooth and successful migration. In a nutshell, on overall quality, it's more important to execute multiple mock migration cycles in an N+1 landscape before doing directly into a production environment. So through this runbook, they can have many iterations. They can perform the testing against on-premises benchmarks and optimize. We do have a tool called Staff, SDAF, that can automate and reduce a lot of manual efforts. And they don't have to have too many people to be aligned to do in order to have an end-to-end failover scenario test. So this tool can automate. It has an inbuilt scripts that can have and meet a low latency requirements and capacity planning, whatever they wanted to do. They can automate the provisioning. They can use the configuration using the tools such as Staff, and how the environment is working through. They can get to know to the quality by using the ACSS. So we have a optimized approach that they can utilize, how they can go for HA and DR configurations.
And basically, even the software is installed on the top, not just the infrastructure, but also so kind of greenfield approach is out of the box there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is very less plain. They don't have to do many iterations and maintain extra time for a prep. So this tool itself have inbuilt scripts that can just do a couple of iterations and can do an end-to-end test.
And it's actually pretty cool, Anuradha, that you're mentioning these different tools, because I think we had a lot of colleagues already on the show in our past that are actually the developers behind these tools. So for SDAF, for example, the SAP Deployment Automation Framework, we had the development teams here on the call. For the landing zone, we had a lot of colleagues on the zone on the call that talk about. So it's really great to see that the work that is being done basically by the engineering teams, that you're taking them and helping customers with these tools. It's great to see this as a confirmation that the tools that the engineering teams are working on are actually here being used by you and the team.
Yes, even a couple of our mission critical customers where they're usually execute every 6 months once or yearly once based on their cycle, a maintenance window, the DR test, right? We are recommending all our customers to use a Staff. So I even implemented a Staff for a couple of my customers, mission critical customers, in a QA environment with a step-by-step approach. They even mentioned they've saved a lot of manual efforts and timing in order to go back and forth DR tests.
Oh, great to hear.
Yeah, with that being said, once the migration is in place and the environment is in Azure, everything that you need to know is about SfMC. So what is a Microsoft support for mission critical? This is a top tier support that every customer can opt for on top of a unified contract that you have in place. So support for mission critical is an enhanced support option, designed to supplement Microsoft unified support within a more programmatic end-to-end approach for high stakes complex solutions that customers has. So it mainly focus on improving the overall health, resiliency, and performance of the customers of the mission critical systems that customer or the top tier or the medium tier customers, they have the structure. When the downtime arrives, or if the system goes down, they end up having a lot of the loss in millions sometime, depends on the customer architecture and the grave and the severity that they have, which that they can prevent by using this service via the actions through the remediation approach, not only just reacting the things, but they'll have a faster retrogression and as well as the service that they can expect, and they can have a reduced recurrency based on the post-mortem, post-analysis. The complete root cause analysis will be provided with the implementation steps. So who should consider the SfMC is basically, it is aimed at organizations where, if any outages are business critical for them, right? Any outage that they call it as business critical, they can opt for this service. Any revenue impact or regulatory impact or any mission critical impact that they have, which is impacting the business, any customers that is having a business impact can opt for this service on top of Unified, where they can benefit from a dedicated team that can understand completely the SAP environment along with Azure. So they get an end-to-end. Not many SAP customers have a max attention in place, right? Where if they can opt for this service, they'll get a service, a dedicated resources along with an Azure infrastructure. So if any issue in SAP application side, they'll get an advisory support to guide and pull in the SAP directly into the call to resolve the issue ASAP for a major migrations, even if they're planning for any cutovers, any peak seasons events, any upcoming migrations that they have in their timeline, any hybrid or cloud architects that they wanted to move or migrate. If they need a consistent operational governance, we have even events that can support during a weekend as well, along with this packages. So what workloads are covered? I mean, it depends on what you have in on Azure, like intelligent cloud, modern work, business apps, SAP and Azure, Azure customer, everything intact on top of M365. Everything is covered. So you can opt for, as a baseline, as a prerequisite, you need to have a unified to be in place. On top of it, we can opt for, you can opt for mission critical contract. As I said, any business impact that you have, you can opt for this service. With this package, what you get is basically a proactive plus reactive with the designated experts with the high touch engagements. So they'll provide an access to a design team that invest time for you and for your solution to automate, to resilient, and to provide a high quality incident handling, and as well as the guidance you over time based on your business industry standards. So in the programmatic approach, you will have customers will have a continuous case by case break fix in the structured manner. They'll have an initial assessment during the initial contract, which covers the assessments end to end to understand the landscape, to apply industry business standards and fulfill the gaps. During the preventive, we will have an on-site visits based on the customer need to mitigate the risks and apply. If there is any monitoring gaps, we will assist. We have a plus service to provide an end-to-end monitoring service. During the reactive support, you will have a faster critical response targets. So during how much time that we take to resolve, it depends on the contract sign that you have. So everything will be outlined based on the line items that you have as part of the contract agreement. So you will have a post-mortem root cause analysis, which will be provided end to end for our customers. So we need to note that the response time commits can depend on the exact plan and the contract as set. So the severity definition, the definitions will be provided by Microsoft pre-sales team. How you can buy this contract is basically you can have the supplement to Microsoft Unified team. You can get in touch with an account team, which can be looped by the pre-sales team and as well as us to provide you a best support. So we have a majority of the customers in place already. Whichever you feel like you have a business impact and something is not going through and having something is not implemented, so please do opt for a mission critical contract on top of it. So we'll provide you a support to make the environment stable.
So basically, customer have a lot of flexibility to choose what they want, how much they want, for how long time, which is nice. So who is delivering this from a Microsoft side? It's CSAs or somebody else, or different people roles?
So in order to come from the roles and responsibility side, as I said, as a prerequisite, we need to have a unified contact in place. So the accounting team, the CSAM will be in touch with the customer. So they eventually get in touch with the pre-sales and the T-sales, technical solution architects. So they'll once the contract is signed, the TSS will be assigned a dedicated technical solution architect. So the TCL, so cloud architects will be reviewed the entire environment and provide a support along with the reactive and proactive to make the entire customer environment in a more resilient manner.
Okay, great.
And I think this is obviously not only for SAP, as you said. If I as a customer decide, look, I need this for my M365, for my emails, for my SQL Server, for security, then I can also opt in for this service, right? This is
Yes.
not only SAP. It's really the broad Microsoft spectrum.
Yes, it's a block overall Microsoft. So whatever they're using Azure or M365 or any Intune or any support that they have unified, they can opt for it. And we also have an AI support, mission critical support in place. We have couple of customers in place already. So yeah, everything is intact for all the products.
Great. Okay, perfect.
The next slide is about how you can optimize scalability and high performance. In general, there are two ways to determine how you can do a sizing and all, right? So customers can do a sizing on their on-premise systems. They can have their system configurations. They can utilize their OS collector, right? SAP OS collector, and they can have their report, ISO 7N, as well as an early watch report that they can review based on the performance and statistics that they can gather. So early watch alert is a main thing that we can review based on the size, how we can opt for it based on the system configuration. Or we also have a quick sizer that can offer two independent sizing approaches, which is user-based throughout or the smaller environment, or they can have the business requirements to determine whether we can go for a larger or a complex environment. So this takes to an account where the users can perform business-specific tasks based on their internal architect, and business needs. So for the high performance, they can, as I said, they can opt for whatever the infrastructure readiness the customers would have. We have a couple of options. They can do infrastructure readiness by using the SAP node provided here, or they can, they have to enable network and resiliency. So and as well as there are a lot of high performance things like achieving high performance for SAP and Azure stats for infrastructure readiness. They can ensure SAP certified VM SKUs. They can have the correct memory sizing. They have to validate the IOPS and throughput for the database workloads. The well-architected, review, the storage strategy can provide the VM level SAP recommended configurations to ensure consistent performance. So they can opt for a unified team where we can optimize and support the end-to-end migration for them. And once the migration is done, they can have a monitoring in place. Nowadays, SAP customers are recommending to do a ALM Cloud ALM migration because Solman is going to get it soon, right? So instead of applying multiple tools from SAP application, FaceMaker side, and as well as the infrastructure side, they can opt for an AMS, Azure monitoring for SAP solutions that they have. So to baseline, and they have end-to-end telemetry in place for the entire guidance during their operations. So whenever the downtime comes, they don't need to go and hurry for different teams where the actual issue resides. Whereas they can just come for an EMS to review the telemetry and opt for where exactly the issue is reside, and then they can quickly react on top of it. Yep. That being said, thank you.
So, Anuradha, now, if I'm a customer, what would be the next step? So how can I actually get in contact? How can I benefit from mission critical services? What do I need to do to get support for mission critical? Should I just talk to my account manager, or what's the best way to get this done, to get this in place?
You're right. So in order to have mission critical support to be in place for any customer that we have which has a business impact, they can get in touch with the account manager that is aligned for the account. So during so every customer will have their dedicated CSAM assigned from Microsoft to support, right? They can connect with the account manager. The account manager will get in touch with us and our pre-sales team in order to loop line and apply the process whatever the customer need based on their recommendations and expectations.
Perfect. Well, great, Anuradha. I think that was a good overview of support for mission critical. To be honest, I was not so much aware of the features that Microsoft is offering there, or the functionalities, the support. Also, as you said, for non-SAP. I think that's yeah. I have to admit that I wasn't aware that we're offering these functionalities as well. So thank you so much for this overview of mission critical, especially obviously in the context of SAP. And I hope that we have a few customers that also benefit from this and that reach out to their CSAM now to engage on mission critical for SAP.
Thank you. We also have a blog that if people wanted to refer on a high level, so I'll provide that link.
Perfect. And we'll put it in the show notes as well. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, Anuradha, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Yeah.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.